Welcome, Internet. Thank you guys for joining today. I am one of your wonderful hosts, Rhinoceros Rex, aka Rex, which I'm now that everyone I think out there knows.
Is it official?
It's a mouthful I've been learning over time, but I'm gonna shorten it to Rex. But I need everyone to know that I'm incredibly clever first, and Rhinoceros Rex is the full name, but Rex is the shortened version, and I am clever. It's one of the co-hosts, Rex. I'm joined, as always, by the illustrious Beccatron. And today, Diego and Franco from The Beacon are joining us. And we're very excited because I'm a Beacon fanboy, so this is right up my alley. 8-bit dungeon crawling. It's got everything we need. Real quick, if you guys give like a 30-second who you are to the people who don't know who you are, and then we'll dive into some announcements.
All right, sure. Well, first of all, I guess I can begin. Thank you guys for having us here. My name is Diego. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of The Beacon. I'm a software developer, and also I have a background in psychology. I know that that's like a weird mix, but I do have those things. Hey. I've been a gamer all my life. I always wanted to build a game while growing up. I grew up playing games, mostly MMOs and some competitive games like Dota 2 and stuff like that. I always wanted to build something when I was younger. We did have a few attempts with Rafa here, Franco. We were brothers in real life as well. Until at some point, we just pretty much decided that the Web3 space had what we wanted to create a great game. And that's what set us to build The Beacon. So and I guess that's the reason why we came here, why we are here right now, I'd say. But that's me in a nutshell. Just a regular guy who likes games and just went on about it and built one.
Welcome to the crew. We like games too. That's awesome.
So I guess I can do my part then. I'm Diego's brother. I'm the older one. So I'm the CTO at The Beacon.
The wiser one, Beacon. Right? Yeah, I'm the older brother in my relationship, so I'm wiser.
I taught Diego all the things. Yeah. He knows. Right, so I'm the CTO at The Beacon. My name is Rafael. The nickname here is Franco. I guess we didn't coordinate with Diego in terms of how to use this display name here, but I've been a software engineer for over a decade. Most of my background is leading small teams in software, basically. And I guess on the crypto side, I've been in the space since 2016, 2017, something like that. Worked as a tech lead for a company called Polymath some years ago, and then decided to start something with Diego, and I guess that one thing led to another, and now we're building a game, which is our childhood dream, both of us. So yeah, super happy.
Nice.
Fulfilling dreams.
Making it happen. And also you're already getting a good shout out from the beginning. Diego looks like a good Chad meme. So there you go. Starting it off right. Thank you, crowd. All right. So quickly, we have a few announcements. The first is you'll see right above my head here. There's this wonderful logo, SX.bet. And I have been so busy preparing for what is going to be the second announcement in this run of things that I actually did not prepare a bit today for the ad. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try my best to remember all of the ideas for bits that I have written down somewhere that you may at one point in the future come to learn about or see performed live. So the first one is I'm going to try my hand at becoming a DJ person, and I'm going to record the whole bit and then set them up to keys and then randomize the keys and try and say the SXBet intro, but with random bets. And then I'm occasionally going to throw in recordings of my son being like, "Daddy, I don't love you." Or my wife being like, "I'm leaving you," things like that. So that's one bit. So maybe we'll see that in the future. The next bit is a musical number where I'm actually going to put a curtain in front of this and open it up and then sing a musical number about how SXBet changed my life through sports betting and being the largest decentralized sports betting book. So that's one of the ones that I had an idea about. Another one that I had an idea about was just what was it? I was gonna just have a dog. One of my neighbors had this old basset hound. I was gonna borrow the basset hound. I was gonna pop them up on screen and have them do an ad read pretending to be Ryan. Like there's a lot of different ways we can go with this. I have a whole list of 20 different ideas right now. There's one where I'm a sports newscaster, and then I keep getting pieces of paper handed to me by myself from off the screen, and I'm just reading terrible news reports over and over and over again. It's gonna be there's a whole. I have a lot of these. All right, it's coming off the top. But the problem is I don't have a fully fleshed out one for today, so that's a little taste. If this is the first time you're tuning into Play Economy, these are the types of things we like to do for the ad read. But other than that, go check out SXBet if you like sports betting, or if you like esports betting, or if you like NFT betting or crypto betting, all of the above. They pay me to do stupid shit like this, and here we are hanging out. All right. So the second announcement, which is why I was so busy, is we are going to be at ETH Denver. We fly in tomorrow, and then on Thursday. Mark your calendars, folks. Thursday, we are going to be live streaming Thursday, Friday, and part of Saturday because we have to leave and come home. It's my wife's birthday, and I gave her the present of being absent on her birthday, which is a very fantastic thing to do. And so we will be live streaming. We will be doing interviews. We will be in the Meta Arcade that's on site. There are 20 games that are going to be a part. We're going to be interviewing all of them and more. And part of that is the fact that I made sure that if they wanted to come and interview with me, they had to give something away. So Beck and I will be giving away a ton of fun stuff. Access codes, NFTs, skins, and more. Tune in on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have a good time.
I'm excited.
All right, that was a big breath, and hopefully, I know the Meta Arcade. It'll be good. We'll be live streaming. We'll be doing it up. All right, now we're here to actually talk about the thing that we wanted to talk about, which is the beacon. Alberta said it best, beacon. So here we go. I guess for all the people out there that don't know, set the stage. Let us know what's the beacon, what's going on in the world. I'm to all those people, the Play Economy folks know I'm a dungeon master. All right, so I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a big lore guy. I love a world building situation. I want to know, why am I fighting the bad guy? Like, what are the angsty things that happened in my childhood? So set the stage, and while you're doing that, I'm grabbing a drink and closing the door because I realized I left all this.
Let's hear it.
Sure. You want to go? You want to grab that one, Rafa, or should I take it?
Sure. Right. So, so the beacon starts with the fact that in the world of the beacon, I guess there's two primordial elements. One is Lux, and the other is Umbra. Lux basically represents, order, stability, light, and the other is Umbra, which represents the opposite, darkness, chaos, instability, all of that stuff, right? And so these two elements were in balance in the world, and then something happened, and basically the balance broke, and Umbra kind of started taking over the world. And basically, the player is part of, the player comes from a city, which is the last bastion of humanity, basically, a city called Altaris. And basically, the city survived this event because of something called the beacon, which is a huge monolith, basically, that through the power of Lux protects this city. The problem is that go for it.
No, I've only I've heard each of these things in individual, like the beacon. I see the beacon when you log in, and it's always nice to hear it all kind of come together. Like I did do my quest, I talked to the bartenders, I talked to all the people, so I did learn a little bit, but it's nice to have it pieced together succinctly.
Awesome. Right, and so the problem is that the beacon, the light that it emits, it's kind of flickering. So something's going on. It seems like it's dying. Right, so people are worried, and chaos is starting to, break loose, I guess, in Altaris. And you're one of the few brave, adventurers who decided to venture outside of the protection of the beacon and sail to new lands to find, Lux, basically to fix the beacon in a way, right? So the idea is to create this. The first goal, which is where we're at in the game, is to create this settlement outside the protection of the beacon, basically, and make it a new safe place for people. And to get the rest of the story, I guess you guys will have to wait. But that's where we're at.
Play the game. All right.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Well, I agree. Let's play. I don't know how to at all say your name, but let's play. One of the things we like here at Play Economy is we say, fuck the vegetables, straight to dessert. So I'm going to pull up the game real quick so we can just see what's going on. Add this to stream. We're going to make it nice and big. So we're all sitting on the side. There we go. All right. So I have my little character. I have some blue hair. talk me through. Just walk me through. I'm gonna start walking around. Just start talking about the game. What are we doing here? What is this area that we start in?
I guess the important part of the game is that this game spins around 2 core dimensions. One is a fantasy action roguelike RPG game that is, well, that you will see when you enter the dungeon, like this sort of fast-paced, action-heavy game. Wait, get back to the house.
I'm going back to the house. Sorry, I'm just showing off some sweet stuff. It's very empty in here. I don't have my bed.
And
apothecary
the
setup.
Idea is that the idea is that going through these dungeons, at some point, the farther you get, you will obtain treasures and loot, let's say, items that you will be able to use in the game for both your character and your house, right? So one dimension of the game is this dungeon crawler that uses procedural generation and, well, code to generate a very challenging and unique gameplay every time you enter a dungeon. But the other dimension is a very social gameplay that's oriented in 2 things. One is this in-game housing builder, like every character, just for the sake of existing, is entitled to own a house, and you can decorate this house with the items that you find in your dungeon runs, and some of those are NFTs. For instance, if you press, I think it was the I button, like, well, the house builder, then you can jump into the house building aspect of the game, right? Right now, since you don't have any items, there's nothing for you to decorate with, right?
I'm on the test
the
net
idea is
thing.
well, you can jump into the real one and show it as well. I think.
I gotta show up. I'm very. Let me. While you guys are talking, I'm gonna try and pull mine up right now because I'm very proud of what I got here. So let me see if I can switch to Arbitrum. There we go. All right. Let's do a reload.
Wait, you will need to get out of state.
You're gonna.
I'm gonna have to do a whole lot of work, huh? Oh my goodness. Let's
go to
app.beacon.gg.
I'll probably have to log in again. Our session support right now is not very. It's very good. We're rewriting it just so you guys know. But
yeah.
All right.
Here we go. Full disclosure: the game is on development yet. So.
Oh, is it? All right. Yeah. All right. Here we go.
This is a prototype.
It is a prototype. It's a wonderful prototype.
It's actually a very scoped prototype of the game.
I know.
So for the same reason, it's a bit limited and has its issues. But of course, we're working on it. So yeah, let's see if you can.
All right, so let me see.
Okay, so now you actually.
Nice. This is my character, and I'll let me preface this. I worked hard. All right, I slaved away in the dungeon 2 times a day with my founding character. All right, to get myself this wonderful mask. It looks great, and then I also got all these sweet little things in my home. So I got to walk you through the setup of my home. I was very intentional about this. So I would be an apothecary salesman. I'm probably going to be like an old kind of lady, so she's welcome children, what ails you this day? And so then when kids come in and they want to talk about things, so by the way, I also practice on my Dungeon and Dragon voices live for the internet, so that way I can.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, thank you. And so whenever I figure out what ails them, I come back, I grab all the supplies out of my chest. I always light the candle to let them know that there's some magic happening. And then I go over here to mix it all up in the cauldron. I always sprinkle in a little bit of fairy juice because I have way too many fairy bottles. And then I give them what they want, and then they head out the door. And so that is my current house, my setup. I'm very intentional.
That's very creative.
Thank you. So nice. I spent some time digging in and exploring the house. But yes, so that is the ability. Let me press E so I can pull it up. So yeah, so you get all these things. I got more rugs that I can. Gotta get back to decorating. Oh man,
the game has a few rugs.
Lots of
rugs. Lots of rugs. All right, cool. So let's go back to the other one. Hopefully, oh nope, gotta reload. All right, we'll do that while you guys are talking.
Wait, Ryan, I have a quick question for you. It's really pixelated. Is that gonna be like pixelated? Yeah.
Shoot. Hopefully, let me see if I can figure that out. I will continue to try and figure that out here in a second while you guys are talking.
Yeah, I guess can you repeat the question? I think it cut.
It just looks really pixelated. Look at that house. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, that's a staging house.
Just testing out.
It's like a test house, so that's why he has like all those.
It looks like a
I don't ignore that badly, you know.
You can't even sleep in there.
I know.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And the problem is that my real house on the game right now is empty because I have to wipe my items to try something else. So it's like, yeah, it's hard to play the game sometimes while you're building it at the same time.
I hear you. All right, let's log in here. Hopefully, I'm going to try and check my internet while we're talking about this on the pixelization side. But so what's the normal happenstance? What's normally going on? We're out here.
What do you mean precisely?
Yeah,
what is it that you should do?
Someone jumps in, right? Someone jumps in. We always like to say, like, one of the easiest or the biggest things is like barrier to entry, right? What do people need to do to get started? How do they just get in, start playing the game right away? Because as much as you can talk about NFT investment thesis and tokenomic and blah blah blah, like the reason people show up is to play a game, in my personal opinion. So how do people get started?
Right. So oh, Dio, you want to go for it? Okay. Yeah, we have like a huge delay here because Dio's in Chile and I'm in Istanbul right now. Yeah. All right. So just to play the game, you can just go to app.thebeacon.gg basically, or just thebeacon.gg, and there's a link, of course, to the web app and therefore the game as well. For now, you need a MetaMask wallet to play, but you don't need to buy anything. Basically, you can play for free. So the gameplay for a free-to-play account or character, basically it's a little bit more limited. You cannot customize how your character looks. It's going to be just wearing some old rags, basically. But you can still go into dungeons. And in terms of the gameplay that we currently have for the prototype, it's been changing quite a bit. Because we've been, basically rebuilding the game as we're trying to, keep people, having fun on the current prototype. So we are currently changing it. We changed it, what was it, last week, Diego, maybe, to a new format where you can play 4 dungeons a week. Basically, they open up from Monday to Thursday. And free-to-play characters are going to be able to play 2 of those starting this week, basically. And real founding characters, basically they're going to be able to play 4 dungeons. For each dungeon that you play, you're going to get some loot potentially, and it depends on what exit you took, like if you get better or worse odds basically for your loot. So that's one part of it.
Yeah. So long story short, what you can do is basically you hop into the game, whatever MetaMask you use, you don't need to have any ETH or anything. Just sign just a signature to create an account. You jump into the game and you can do 3 things. The first one is having your house and customizing it. The second one is jumping into the dungeon to get loot. And the third one is to the right. You can go to the tavern and hang out with the NPCs and check out the NPC dialogue system that we have. And we usually doing events, quests, and inside this tavern, right? Like each NPC inside the tavern has its own dialogue, and we change those dialogues according to the situation. Right? One of the things that we want to create soon, actually, is the fact that in social places like this one, you will be able to see other players and interact with them live, right? Like that would be like the MMO social aspect of the equation that we're really working towards, right? We're now trying to give this vibe via this drawings and NPC and just creating like this familiar kind of experience. But at some point, we want to really have real people there and hanging around and stuff like that, right? But of course, all the NPC dialogue system is going to be there and quests and everything.
Yeah. By the way, the maid definitely, the name precedes the maid.
She's actually quite famous.
Yeah, she's very
famous in the community.
She's made
our lead artist took some time to animate her.
Well,
for sure.
Details matter,
It does. When you're bringing a world to life, it's all about the details. So I will say one of the things that I've done is when I was playing this game by myself, I was sitting around practicing all the voices of the different people. So like I have the old man Igor. Welcome back, settler. Join me by the fire for a drink or 2. So this is me officially petitioning if you need a voice actor to come on for any of the characters of the Beacon, I should be one of the first phone calls that you guys make. I'm just putting that out there. It's kind of a dream of mine to be a voice actor in a video game.
Oh my God, I would love that.
Bartender Bo, right?
The Beacon,
you say? Yeah, it would be awesome. We'll do it all. I won't bore you with. I've gone through most of these characters and created voices. I spent a lot of time, so I won't do it all right now.
Awesome.
But yeah. So that's cool because I saw that there's like this casino area up here, so that's going to be very interesting to play. But you can come in and like hang out. You see all your closest Anon friends to like play games with and shoot and kill baddies with. That is neat. I like that. Voice acting is my turf. Back off. All right, we can split the characters. All right, half and half. All right, half and half. Super obvious using a voice mod. Come on, man. Oh my goodness. I'm
it's
a
rigged.
consummate
It's totally rigged.
I'm a consummate professional. All right, so why don't I'm going to try my hand, and sorry if it's pixelated. I checked my internet. I have it hardwired. I don't know why it's being all funkalonk, but Curry Beach, North Carolina is the epitome of internet as far as I'm aware in the world. So apologies in advance. Hopefully it's not too pixelated as it's coming through, but I'm going to go into the dungeon. You guys tell me a bit about what you guys are building, what the dungeons are, what like the typical game loop is that people are going to be coming into and playing. And then I'm only going to go to level 1 because I never even beat that on the Kaiju boss level before. So
perfect. So well, I'd say that in essence, the game, at least this aspect of the game, is a roguelite, right? And roguelites are characterized by the fact that whenever you enter a dungeon, it uses procedural generation to generate like a new map, let's say, and with different challenges and different monster behavior and different traps that you need to go through in order to beat the dungeon, right?
That's what we're building, not that we are now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want to get there. It's like, since we're still in development, we have a, let's say, a partial format of procedural generation for now, where most of these dungeons are actually made by hand, by me actually. And
how much of your time is spent trying to challenge or trump? Because
it's actually
Carol from TreasureDAO, he does no-hit runs and he posts them on Twitter like every day.
Yeah.
I don't know how he has time.
It's been very frustrating.
Yeah,
it's just very skilled as a player. I actually very impressed. Like when you got those. He did the Kaiju 4, which I thought no one would have been able to do.
Yeah, the game looks easy, but it's not that easy actually. I mean, to beat the bosses and well, of course you learn how to play, right? But it's not that easy, and actually many people even struggle to be able to beat a normal dungeon. It's like we actually have plenty of complaints like, hey, the dungeon today is too hard, and then you got people like Corel just pretty much acing it.
I know, no hit wonders.
So that's
make everyone happy.
That's it. Yeah, that's the thing. But what we've been building so far is like this sort of content cadence where we have different dungeons that we're releasing each week, and those dungeons are just different pieces of rooms that are tied together, just like the room you enter right now, right? And the idea is that you each day get a chance to beat it, or a few chances to beat it, and if you beat it without taking the cowards exit, you're going to be entitled to earn more loot or more NFTs or more of a, let's say, progression system we will add soon that's called the luck shards, that will allow people to earn a form of, you can call it currency inside the game for completing the dungeons, right? That's what we have so far, right? But what the ideal end version of this would be something more akin to the lines of Hades or games like the Binding of Ice, like where every time you enter a dungeon is going to be different. Instead of changing daily, it's going to be a different dungeon every time, and you will have chances. So that's what we're trying to build. We're still, of course, a bit away from that, but that's what's on the road.
Here's the cowards exit, by the way, for everyone. I promise you that I've never taken the cowards exit, not even once, because it's not like I have a work call I got to get to or a dirty diaper to change.
I'm gonna check that on the database.
Yeah. Like I didn't even know that existed until you brought it up on this stream. So, but that sounds really, really cool. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, is there going to be like saves, or is like, a game loop? Like I can come and play those spikes. I can come and play the game, check in for, sometimes it takes me way too many times to clear the dungeon, but I could in a perfect world, come in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, check off the dungeon for the day, and I don't need to feel like I need to like sink World of Warcraft level hours, or I fill me in on that kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so it's the idea that you're able to play, like just one or a few runs. I mean, the gameplay that we're hoping to be able to design is one that you plan on doing one run, but you end up doing 10. That's kind of the effect that we're looking for.
I've done. Yeah. Oy.
Oh,
that's close. Yeah, so one of the oh, sorry.
Woo! Okay,
right, so one of the things that you're gonna that it's really important that we don't have yet, basically, is dungeon, like in run dungeon progression. Basically, the idea is that every few rooms or every certain amount of like distance that you cover in some way, or progress that you make is probably a better way to put it. You're gonna be able to get some upgrades for your weapon, so it might change the way you attack, maybe like attack speed, maybe critical hits, or maybe like just make it higher range, like those kinds of things. and you're
so I
gonna
no longer have to
try
use
to
this
find
stick.
combinations.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other part, which is that we want to create a bunch of different weapons, so for different playstyles, basically.
There you go.
Oh.
I know.
I was actively trying to make you lose.
I know. That's normally what I'm trying to do is have
Multitasking.
the other players play the game, and then you're giving answers you wouldn't give because you're thinking about playing the game, and here I am getting distracted and playing the game and getting killed. Here we go. Well, that's really, really cool. So what should people be paying attention to? Like what's some exciting things? You mentioned like people being able to play or like pop in and have that kind of social element. What are some things that are coming down the pike that you guys are stoked about?
So I think one that's very like on top of mind right now is co-op, because we're working on having like the netcode ready for the game. So that's something that's coming. Like it's gonna take some time, of course. Like networking in these kind of games, it's pretty complicated. But yeah, that's something that I think people should be looking forward to.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean the first version we will release of the networking side of things would be like the social hangouts, where we can talk with other people and just chat and stuff like that. But down the line, we want to enable the co-op mode where you will go into dungeons together and fight bosses together and require like different strategies to beat these bosses, right?
For instance, Becca, are we gonna log in, play this together?
Let's do it.
All right.
I'm getting amped up watching you.
I know.
So that's one of the things that we're really looking forward towards. Of course, as well, having more weapons, more of a complex gameplay is one of the things that we're also really focusing on. In the sense that, as you can see right now, you only have a very narrow skill set, right? You can only have like 2 attacks and dashing, and well, that in and of itself is fun enough, but there's way more complexity that can be added. So
right,
that's one of the things that we're also looking towards.
Yeah, I can't wait to be like a magic wielder if there's gonna be magic. I don't know, like that kind of stuff. All right, yeah. I'm definitely like a sorcerer type level person, innate magical ability. There we go. By the way, people out there, I know that I'm playing right now, so I'm not really paying attention to the chat. But this is kind of an AMA, so please ask any questions. You guys, especially if you're from the Beacon community, you know where the skeletons are buried. Ask the questions that will dig the finger in and make them sweat up here on this live stream. Please.
I'm seeing one right away. Like, is the weapon a leaf or a twig? Okay, so I can answer that. Right, so we wanted to, in some way, I guess, signal that this is a prototype and that you're as weak as you're ever going to be in the game, and that's why we gave you a stick instead of a sword, basically. But you're playing with the swords set.
Yeah, so that's I guess the age-old question: is it a leek or is it a twig? This is Alberta asking the heavy-hitting. We won't answer live on stream. That's a secret that you guys are taking to the grave.
It's a twig. It's a twig.
It's a twig. Okay, it's a twig. God, thank you, Alberta, for asking those hard-hitting questions. That's really, really, really.
We can make a twig variation if you want.
Yeah, nice.
like far-fetched Pokemon.
Yeah.
So when are other weapons coming? That's like.
So right. So in terms of the roadmap, probably a second weapon, at least in development, we need to see how we're going to make this available to people, because we're basically rewriting the game, because a prototype, was not really sustainable. But a weapon would come before the dungeon upgrades, because we need to test the upgrades supporting multiple weapons. So it's probably an easier way to do it. And also, a weapon can come sooner than upgrades, because upgrades may take a while. So yeah, so expect some ranged weapon, because that's kind of like the other extreme, maybe. In terms of gameplay.
All right, a ranged weapon, very exciting. That's really, really cool. I am I'm definitely a fanboy. So this game is it hits a lot of tracks that I think are very, very cool for people who are coming into the space. So I'm always curious when you're thinking about like I don't know, you think about psychology, Diego, but like when you think about kind of what attracts a gamer or like what are you thinking about when you're building or developing this kind of game loop that you guys are working on? What are some of the things that like you were putting to the test or kind of digging into as you were coming through? Because it was the first time this is the first time this happened. Granted, don't get me wrong, I love a lot of Web3 games out there, so like don't take this, but this is the first time where I was like, oh shit, it's almost 8 o'clock. I know they're gonna reset the timer. I need to get in my dungeon clear so I can get my items. It's been a long time since I felt that way about a game. So first and foremost, kudos to you for doing that.
Awesome.
But like, what are you thinking about when that stuff is coming on, and how you guys are approaching what's gonna, the eventual future of the beacon as well?
Yeah. I mean, I love it. So you signaled there a principle that I think that we want to capitalize on, which is the fact that you want to log in daily to play the game. Right. One of the things that we focus on while building the game is not only having ideally exciting gameplay, but also like this lovely graphics. Like these graphics that when you're logging into the game, you actually have like this nice feeling. Like, for instance, like when after settlement launch, I took a small vacation and I didn't log into the game like for 5 days, something like that. And then I came back and logged in today and I was like, oh wait, there's actually, I like seeing my character, I like seeing my house, I like seeing my stuff, and I'm excited about the dungeon that's going to come today, right? So to us, one of the things that I think that we're focusing on is creating like this engaging gameplay through various different feelings. One is like the excitement of the challenge in the dungeons. The other one is like the really enticing and detailed graphics. Kudos to our lead artist for that one, Ross. And also having an incentive for people to come in daily to experience, to have something to look for, right? I think, and it doesn't need to take too much of their day, although we want to have a game that has plenty of depth and theory crafting and that stuff down the line. We also want to make it simple enough so people can log in for 30 minutes and have a day with it. But it's a mix of those things, I'd say. One of the things I'm really wanting to see how they play out is the social aspect. I think that there's going to be plenty of fun things that come around with that via the cosmetics. As you notice, like we have like this very customizable cosmetic system for characters, and people play around with it. And we actually have like this. There's even a naked set, like your character can be naked. And there's even a DAO.
The birthday suit.
Formed around like the birthday suit DAO, it's called, but formed around like this, like having that set, right, being able to be naked. So what's going to happen when you actually have like, I don't know, like a bunch of 30 dudes naked around hanging in the tavern? Like that's like the kind of things we want to see.
This is the next setup for an SX.bet bit. If I had my way, this is perfect. All right, you're feeding me stuff.
You can create all these fun experiences.
We have some good questions. What are some?
All right, we got some good questions. Let me put it up. Yeah. So some weapon concept sneak peeks. I think we heard ranged weapon. That's exciting. Okay. Is there anything else that you're willing to?
We can mention a couple, but we cannot. We're gonna guarantee they're gonna happen. But some things that we have in mind, so it will be something more heavy, like a hammer, probably. Like where mobility is a little bit more complicated, maybe like it's high risk, high reward. So ranged weapon, there's two that we have in mind right now. So one would be the bow, another would be something like a wand or like a magic book, something of that sort.
Interesting.
All of these weapons are gonna have kind of like some I guess like similar structure in terms of the moveset. So there's gonna be one skill that's kind of like helps with mobility. Maybe on the magic type of weapon, it could be a blink instead of a dash, which might be useful, right?
I like that. All right, I'm gonna post up in this. Again, to talk about the scenery and everything going on, it's very nice. And then another weapon-related question, which is weapons for pets. Winky face eyeballs.
No, I don't think that's
no weapons for pets.
Yeah, that's not in the scope, probably.
Pets are cute. They don't fight. They help you out in other ways.
Yeah, they have small arms, and some of them don't even have arms. So.
That would be hard.
Just laser beams on their foreheads. All right. Yes. This is actually a really good question that I think I'm gonna pull into the fold more often. So thank you, Altunto. What are some of the biggest challenges that you guys have faced so far that you didn't see coming down the pike?
I have one.
You go with one. There's been plenty of this.
Yeah, of course. I guess one is juggling.
3.
So one would be to just juggling the current version of the game with a user base, even though it's a prototype, while building the final version of the game at the same time. I think that's something that's difficult to manage. I mean, we've been doing fine so far, but it's not without a lot of effort, I would say.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, you took my answer away from me. So one of the things that we weren't expecting to some degree, although I mean, we expected it, but not that much, is that the prototype was successful, right? I mean, at least for the standards of these things, and that sort of meant that now we have a huge community that expects things faster than what we would have wished it to be. Let's say we
when game, when launch, when weapons.
That's pretty much it. And now what we're doing is balancing like these two worlds, which we need to do, of course. But that's like that's been the challenge. It's like, okay, so we need to release features, or we also build like a stable product that has an infrastructure that can sustain the amount of gameplay that we want to have, and also keep the community entertained in the meanwhile, and having features so that people don't get bored and stuff like that. We've been doing part of that via events and via releasing these features like the Dungeon Hub and stuff like that, where we try to tackle multiple things at the same time. But that's been the challenge, I'd say. It's a suffering from success kind of situation, let's say. But yeah.
I wonder. I'm building on that. I'm wondering how helpful it's been, because I'm a big fan of what they're doing over at TreasureDAO. So like, is it helpful being part of like a collection of games versus in that same vein of like having to consistently deliver content for folks? Is it helpful to be in that cohort?
It is helpful in the sense that it opens up the gate for you for multiple options that wouldn't be available that easily if you didn't belong to it. In the sense that, for instance, now we can use part of our assets towards the broader treasure ecosystem, and that is helpful because it grants them more utility. Like we will be participating on the harvester mechanics, for instance, with some of our assets via staking, via burning. It also allows us to have this interop opportunity, right? Like having not only interacting with projects inside the space of TreasureDAO, but also using the infrastructure of TreasureDAO to potentiate stuff with the beacon. Like TreasureDAO is going to have a questing system, for instance. Well, we can use the beacon for that as well now, and that sort of thing helps. It expands the array of possibilities you have.
Yeah, nice. And the
treasure community is amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
how they. I'm just curious. Like, what prompted? So, like, as much as I don't like to talk about the blockchain-oriented things, like choosing TreasureDAO and choosing Arbitrum, like those are big decisions on like where you're going to build and why. I'm curious, like, what were your thought processes on those? On top of all the other stuff about just building a game and things of that nature.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Arbitrum, but we came into Arbitrum initially via the Treasure initiative. Treasure came to us before Arbitrum in that sense, and this happened a few months, like almost a year ago, actually. We were looking in which chain to deploy, and it wasn't that evident where you should deploy that. It's actually one of the hardest decisions, right? Many games are really pushing forward the initiative for having games built on top of them. Right? I mean, many blockchains are pushing that initiative. So there was a bit of competition, and we had a few offers, but then we stumbled across Treasure, and then we realized that Treasure had the community that we were looking for, like this highly motivated individuals that share the ethos of loving Web3 and loving games at the same time, which is pretty much what we wanted to have. We were looking like people like us that enjoy games and also really like Web3 and wanted to mix them together. And Treasure had that, had a thriving community that shared that idea, that vision, and that was very, very helpful. And Arbitrum, on the other hand, was one of the top L2s out there. So technologically wise, it also made sense to use it.
Mature.
And it's been fantastic. I mean, you can tell me, Rafa, but I think we haven't had like any issues so far.
Zero issues.
Wow.
Zero.
Arbitrum
is amazing. Great piece of technology.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, cool. I have probably the most important question that I've been waiting for someone in the audience to ask, which is, who is the purple hair sneaky boy that is always around? All right, and so there he is right here. He's always just little question marks, just sitting around, no idea. When lore?
Oh my god!
He appears in random phrases. But
so this guy, I cannot say much because again the latency here. I cannot say much about this guy, sadly. Like, there's nothing I can reveal, so you're just gonna have to wait.
Know yet.
But
you guys,
it's a very important character in the game.
You don't know as well. That's the weird thing.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know.
He's a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
You guys are gonna have to wait to find out. Right? Yeah. It's an important character in many ways.
Yeah, he does look suspicious though.
He's very sus.
Sneaky.
Very sus. I think there's another thing, another form of NFT: characters, pets, cosmetics. I even saw someone asking about plants or land. Is that something that's in the hopper for you all?
So I would say that the future is still open towards opportunities. We're not thinking about lands per se right now. I wouldn't close myself at all in having more NFTs or different format of NFTs in the future. That's for sure an option. I think that what we can say is that since some of the core aspects of the gameplay are being developed, we still need to figure out like where does another NFT or another, let's say, asset really fit into the equation to make things sustainable. We don't want to release land just
to add value as well.
Yeah, everything that we add needs to add value to the game more than the, let's say, economic value that we may derive or not from that. That's pretty much it. And somebody asked, can we have plants? And well, it depends on what you mean by that. But of course, I like the idea. Like if it's for your yard or your house. For
sure. Like Stardew Valley, kind of.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. I would love that. I'm gonna make.
Are you guys Stardew Valley?
I'm gonna say that. But...
I don't know if you guys have looked at my Twitter, but my location is where I live is currently Stardew Valley because I am such a fanboy of everything.
I love the game. Did you play Harvest Moon as well?
Say that one more time.
Did you play Harvest Moon?
Oh yeah, that's one of my like I had the day routine down on Harvest Moon. N64, just like running through. I had to give my grapes to Karen. All right, I had to give my pink awesome. Flower to what was her name, Penelope. I had to get the cakes for Aunt. Like I had it all set. I had my day ready to go. I was macking on all the ladies. All right, it was my first foray into flirting. Yeah, and I did it well, and then it failed miserably after that. It all went downhill after Harvest Moon. I think this is a really a cool question. PvP at some point, very interesting indeed.
I can answer that. So here's the thing with PvP. We don't know, but we would love to have it. The problem is mostly game design. Networking is not the problem because we're building that right now. But game design, it's complicated because the way we're thinking about the game is mainly PvE. Even if it's co-op or in single player mode. But fighting against other players, like the moveset is not meant for that. So it would have to be something where we somehow leverage the stuff that we built in terms of the good stuff about the game, I guess, in a way that's competitive. Right, and that's kind of the challenge. So I think it can happen, and it's going to happen in some ways, competing with other characters. Maybe we're able to make them fight. Maybe there's a way, we don't know, but I would love that. Like me and Dio, we're huge PvP players in most games. We used to play a lot of MMOs and just go around killing people all day long.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
we just love the idea for sure. It's about balance and about actually being able to fit it.
Right, and I think, granted, this is a very self-serving take on this, but it's like I have 2 small children, so I can't like always line up like a fire team to go out PvPing with, and I'm terrible by myself. I'm definitely a support player. I'm an absolutely mediocre gamer. And so having a single player roguelike experience where I can plug in, dip out whenever I need to, I'm just chef's kiss. You're on the right track. For all those people, if they put that out on the roadmap 2 years out, I'm okay with that too. So sorry, not pumping your bags on that. I think these kind of go in, and you kind of touched on this before a little bit, but RPG elements that are definitely worth looking forward to, and kind of what are the roguelike mechanics that are in the game as well.
I guess I can answer the first one, and maybe so there's of course like many elements that we would like to add, like full disclosure, when we were growing up with Rafa, one of the things we wanted to build always was an MMO, right? The thing is, building an MMO takes plenty of time, and that's the reason why we didn't pursue the genre at the time. But we believe that there's for sure room for RPG elements and other MMO-like elements and stuff like crafting down the line. It depends on how we structure the game loops, but it's of course something that we really, really, really like. So there's going to be more depth into the game for sure.
Yeah, the one thing that kind of makes this complicated at this stage is that, so in terms of RPGs, there are a lot of different elements, right? And one would be like progression, right? Is there going to be a leveling system or something like that? And we just really don't know, because maybe, like with just the gear you get in dungeons, that's enough for progression, and then therefore, the level is not adding any value. So that's kind of like why it's hard to answer these questions, but yeah, I agree with Diego. We'd really like to have some of that stuff there.
Yeah.
What's the other question, by the way?
The other question was about the roguelite elements. Yeah.
We kind of talked about that, but mainly, in-run progression in terms of weapon upgrades. That's mainly it. So it's rogue-lite because there's also stuff that you can take outside of the runs and progress like throughout the game in some other way.
Yeah. Also, a hard-hitting questions: are all of the characters same sex or not? Are they unisex? Is this
it's up to you?
It's a pro forward.
There's a design decision here, though. So in terms of the art, we made it so the character, is ambiguous in that sense. And if you put, like some particular hair, it looks more, female. And if you put a beard, it's gonna look more masculine, right? So it's up to you.
I like it. But it's 2023, right? It's up to you at this point, right? You choose the way you flow. Also, a very hard-hitting question, which is important for my apothecary, is when is it possible to put items up on the table during your house decoration phase? Very critical piece of information.
Great question.
It would be great if I had fairies on my table in my apothecary land.
Instead of on the ground, right? So there's two. That's a very good question because that's something that we haven't mentioned much, but something that we're working on. So the housing system we have right now is super, super basic, but we have like a lot planned for it. Maybe too much, like we're gonna have to, eliminate some stuff for now. Maybe think about when to add those things. But the main thing is that we're working on a feature that we're calling surfaces, basically, and it supports, basically this kind of use case. So a table would create a surface where you can put your jars with fairies inside, like on top of it. We don't know what the limits are going to be. Maybe people are going to stack tables like crazy. Maybe we want to allow that, but maybe actually pretty cool.
This can run into the rugs, right? There's so many rugs. You can just have a stack of, you can run a rug shop.
You can
Exactly.
Absolutely. We're also going to
the other thing that's coming is hangables.
Oh, yeah. Like trophies and stuff like that, mirrors, stuff to put on your walls.
All right. Well, that'd be really, really cool. Well, we're coming up on the hour-ish here, and so we got two important things to do. One is I always like to, because it's sometimes it gets cold in the winter, the crypto winter and the bear market. So what's one thing? Could be the beacon, could just be life in general. What's one thing that excites you all, that gets you out of bed in the morning? I don't know. That you're just generally happy about. Could be the game though.
Building a game.
There you go. Living the dream. Were you guys what's your age difference from a brother perspective?
2 years.
2 years. All right, so that's me and my little brother. Yeah, me and my little brother the same way. And it's like, every holiday season, we're just sitting around like, what new game are we going to go into together and fight in the trenches? And we've always granted nowadays we're doing like way other things, but we're always like, if we were to make a game, we'd be doing it way bigger. So thank you for living the ethos that my brother and I had. We'll just have to create content on the internet instead, playing your games. But that it's a very, I like that a lot. But,
that's one of the things. But I also think that there's some room for Web3, let's say Web3 gaming, to sort of broaden the scope of gaming per se. Like I had a very interesting call with a developer, let's call him, although he's actually it's much more notorious than that. And he's a person that has a really solid project about how to build a game that can be used, like a game, let's say, that actually is a very fun and challenging game that has a prize pool, right? And a very hard to attain prize pool, but whoever beats this game will gain this prize pool. But part of the proceedings of this prize pool would be used to combat noble goals like combat aging or combat disease and stuff like that. And it seems to be that there's a room for Web3 to actually broaden the reach of games towards like coordinating people while also granting them fun in the process to combat stuff that could help humanity in some way. It's a very interesting thing. Like if you think about it, people put plenty of effort into games. Like people play plenty of effort into games like World of Warcraft, like just for the achievement of it, just for the experience of it. But what if you actually could just take a small bunch of that social coordination, that effort, and destine that towards something that is also helpful for people? There's a very interesting initiatives, and I think that the technology can create that now. And that's one of the things that actually has me excited about Web3 is that it sort of makes games, it gives more reach to games in different domains. That's fantastic.
You know one thing? Oh, sorry. Go for it, Becca.
Oh, well, so I just want to add on to that because, I guess it was just yesterday, right, that the Dookie Dash key, the golden key, was sold for 1.6 million. The person who got the highest score on Dookie Dash. So, I mean, that's like an interesting, to your point, right? Having a piece of that, a percentage that was going to like a greater cause or good, like it's very interesting.
And I remember
there's room for that.
Hearing, I remember. Just wanted to say because like it's to me it's pretty cool because like Diego has been talking about this for years. Like when we were younger, like we were pretty addicted to some MMOs in particular, and we were like, dude, like what if we could use this energy, for something else, something good. So it's finally maybe it's becoming a possibility. So
yeah, but all my energy is poured into poning noobs out there on the web and getting my sweet loot. All right, I want to help humanity. What is this?
I'm with you there.
I mean, it's even if it's like a small help to humanity or whatever. It's there's this thing about games that really engages you. Like when I was growing up, I was able to spend, nowadays I can't anymore, but I was able to spend like 8 hours playing an MMO. It's like 8 hours and
that's a job.
And
that's a
that game
full-time
was
job.
my life at that point.
Yeah.
So what if you actually could redirect that to something that's a bit more fruitful? Because I don't really remember all the hours I spent on games in that sense. I remember part of it, right?
I remember the anger and the frustration.
Yeah.
I remember those parts. Like that clowning away in those dungeons.
I remember my mom telling me like when I was 13 to shut the computer down and go to bed to go to school.
She would hide the router. I remember that.
My mom did that too.
Oh, that was so frustrating.
House
man.
full of
And
boys.
the thing is like,
house full of boys.
Oh, it was terrible because when we were growing up with Rafa, we only had like one computer for the whole household, right? And we used to take turns. And the only reason why we ever fought as children was because somebody wanted to play longer than
I
the
won
other.
on. It's my turn.
So I created a little tool to track the time. You remember that?
Yeah. He actually got into programming just to
make sure that you got off the computer in time so that he could play. Necessity is the great need of all invention, right? Well, that's amazing. Well, very, very cool.
Questions. I mean, like people really care about controller support.
Ooh, is there a controller support question in there? I missed that one.
Yes.
Ooh, yes, controller support.
Yes, there is.
Whoa!
Well, not yet, but it's been developed. Sorry. Let me just explain myself. So we had controller support in the prototype, and then we broke it and never fixed it. So we're gonna fix it. Sorry about that. So it's coming soon. Like it's still like the controller layer needs a full rewrite as well. So that's why we're delaying it. But yeah, it's coming for sure.
That's good. But at least you're not starting from zero. So hopefully the dev time is shorter than it needs to be. All right. Well, that's cool. Well, as much as I know everyone on the internet here loves to listen to us talk all day and every day, what they're really here for is the fact that we're giving away 2 epic chests live away on stream. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to share screen. I'm going to share this tab, which is our giveaway tool. And because I know that, let's pull this down. Let's pull this up. I know that Umbra is incredibly important to the people out there in the Beacon world. So right now, if you want to enter into the giveaway where you can win a chest, I need you to put hashtag Umbra in the chat. Hashtag Umbra. I'm going to start collecting comments now. You will see the entries come in. Hashtag Umbra, and we will give away 2 chests. The other thing that you need to do is I will be checking after this. You need to make sure to be in the Beacon GG Discord in order to get this, because I will find you there, and that's how I will DM you. I will slide right into those DMs, and that's how I'll get your wallet. So make sure you're in there, because I am in there doing my thing, and then I'll slide into your DMs and get that wallet. So hashtag Umbra, 20 entries so far. That's exciting.
I also just got to mention, Diego, you have like some simps in the chat.
I know. It's that jawline, man. That jawline don't quit.
I think it's the camera angle. I think.
There you go.
I know that the Giga Chin is actually Diego inspired.
Yeah, always sit with that angle. All right, you got a good lighting thing going on. There you go.
Can't unsee it now.
Maybe we should hashtag Diego Sims instead of Umbra, and that's really what's going to change it. But so while everyone's putting hashtag Umbra in the chat, where can people find you? What should they be paying attention for? Those kind of things that we do at the end of this.
So you got to follow the Twitter. That's the number one, and jump into Discord. We're going to have a very interesting event on March 13th, which is next. Not next Monday, the subsequent Monday. And we're going to have an event with Smallverse that's going to feature not only a custom boss fight and well, new mechanics, but also there's going to be plenty of prizes from both projects and limited edition NFTs that can only be obtained during this period.
Wow.
So stay tuned and hop into it. There's going to be plenty of prizes that will be given away, and some of them will be valuable. Like we're actually going to have small ranges of prizes. So
no way.
It's worth participating. Yeah.
Well, you all watch me play today. You know I'm no competition. So get out there, go play the Beacon, get yourself some prizes. That'll be really, really exciting. Okay, we got 26 entries in here, so I'm gonna say hashtag Umbra. This is the last chance. I'm gonna draw in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Boop, 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 boop. Everyone, drum roll, please. And we'll see who the first one is. Winner, Al Tunto. Oh,
there
also,
you go.
Back in the chat.
I know, back in the chat, Al Tunto, thank you for giving in an excellent question that I will now forever steal. So the prize is well deserved, Al Tunto. Make sure you're in the Discord. I will get you there. And then also give me a follow on Twitter, because if I don't find you in the Discord, I'll try and find you on Twitter. And we will get you there. Then everyone still hashtag, if you put it in there before, hashtag Umbra. There's one more chance to win. Hashtag Umbra.
Ike Toast, who says, "Dear heaven, let me win once." Maybe this next one is you.
Maybe this is it. This is for you. This is it. All right, ready? And then also, there's another giveaway going on Twitter right now while we're going through this. On my Twitter feed, you will check out, follow the beacon.gg, and follow me, and tweet, retweet, all those things. I'm giving away 3 epic chests on Twitter right now. But here is the last one for the live stream. Here we go. Ace Montegudo. There we go. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Everyone else. But Ace Montegudo. Make sure you're in the Discord. I'll put that out there again. Amazing, friends. This is fantastic. I'm very excited.
Yeah, this is super fun.
I'm excited to see what happens with the smalls, with the ease. I saw that announcement earlier today.
Yeah,
I was very excited.
It's
So that'll be fun. And then let's stay in touch as things are developing. If you guys have new things happening or exciting events, or if you guys want to let me just like speed run a dungeon and die and play test for an absolutely mediocre gamer, or if you need voice acting, let me know. Voice acting is the #1 thing to get in contact with me for. To all the people that are still out there, give away one date with Diego, please. Christian, asking the real tough questions. That's next time, all right? That is our next stream. That's what we'll do. We will make it.
Everything for the community, man.
There you go.
That's the kind of commitment we like to see here. If this is your first time here, make sure to smash that subscribe, all those classic YouTube things, because we are here playing video games every week, digging into things. And also check out Twitch on Thursday and Friday and Saturday. We are doing a lot of interviews, talking to a lot of games. It's been real, internet. Thank you guys for coming out. Diego. Veronco.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Thank
See
you.
all on the other side.